My wife went on a girls' trip with her rich friends and came back pregnant by her bestie's husband. The moment I found out, I did not scream, did not cry, did not confront. I sat at my kitchen table, folded my hands, and I did not say a single word for 6 hours, because I had learned something in 44 years that they had not. Silence is not surrender. Silence is a strategy. Before we go any further, subscribe to Revenge Handler. This channel exists for every father and grandfather who gave their best years to this family and got betrayal in return. If that hits close to home, you are exactly where you need to be. Hit subscribe right now, because what I am about to tell you, you need to hear it all the way through. My name is Mike. I am 44 years old. I am a father. I built everything I have from nothing. This is my story. Get comfortable, because the people in this story had every single chance to do the right thing. They chose wrong every time. Drop a comment below. Make sure you are subscribed. You are going to love it here. And if you think you already know where this is going, you don't. Not even close. She came through the front door on a Sunday evening, rolling a suitcase, smelling like a different life. My daughter ran to hug her mother. I watched from the kitchen doorway. Something was wrong. I felt it before I could name it. Her smile was too fast. Her eyes were too still. 13 years of marriage. I knew that smile. That was not relief. That was performance. I said nothing. I just watched. She hugged our daughter long, longer than usual. Then she looked at me over our daughter's shoulder, and the look she gave me lasted exactly 1 second too long. My hands started shaking, not from anger, from knowing. The body knows before the mind will admit it. I went to the bathroom, sat on the edge of the tub, and I gripped my knees until my knuckles went white, because I was not ready. Not yet. Let me take you back to where this started. My name is Mike. I work in logistics, 12-hour days, 5, sometimes 6 days a week. My wife, her name was Dana. She grew up with money. I did not. When we met, I was 26 with a truck and a plan. She believed in the plan. I believed in her. We had our daughter, Leah, 3 years in, and life was good, quietly good, the kind of good you do not fully appreciate until it is gone. Dana had a group of friends from college, rich women, nice women, or so I thought. The one I need to tell you about, her name was Priya, Dana's best friend since freshman year. Priya married a man named Derek. Successful, sharp dressed, the kind of man who laughs too loud at his own stories. We had dinner with them for maybe 5 times a year. I never liked Derek. Not for any reason I could name, just something in the eyes. But Priya was kind, genuine, and she loved Dana. So I kept my mouth closed about her husband. That was my first mistake. The trip was Priya's idea. A week in Cabo. Just the girls. 8 women. A rented villa. All expenses paid by the ones who could afford it. Dana asked me if she could go. I said yes without hesitating. She worked hard. She deserved a break. I told her go and have fun. And I meant it. I meant every word. Leah and I had a good week. Pizza twice. Movies every night. She called me the best dad in the world. I held on to that. I still hold on to that. And that was just the beginning. Drop a comment below. Where are you watching from right now? And stay with me, because this story is only getting started. If you are just joining, go back and watch from the start, because what I am about to tell you only makes sense if you know what came before. Dana came back from Cabo on a Sunday. By Tuesday, she was different. Not in a way I could point to. Not in a way she could be called out on. Just different. Quieter at dinner. Phone face down on the counter. Always face down. She had never done that before. I noticed. I said nothing. 2 weeks passed. She stopped reaching for me at night. We had been married 13 years. There had been dry spells, work stress, exhaustion. That was normal. This did not feel normal. This felt like distance with a reason behind it. I told myself I was being paranoid. I told myself she was just tired. I almost convinced myself. Almost. Then Priya called the house phone. Old habit. Priya always called the house phone. I picked up. She did not know it was me. She said one sentence before she realized. One sentence. Did you tell him yet? 3 seconds of silence. Then she said, Mike. Hi. Sorry. Wrong number. She hung up. I stood in the kitchen, holding the phone. For a long time. My daughter was in the next room watching cartoons. I could hear the television. I could hear Leah laughing at something. And I stood there, completely still. Did you tell him yet? I made a mistake that night. I am not proud of it. But I am telling you because it is the truth. I called my brother Ray. Late. Too late to be calling. He picked up half asleep. And I told him what Priya said. All of it. Every word. Too fast. Too loud. Ray told me to calm down. Said it could mean anything. Said I was jumping. I said I knew what I knew. He said, Mike, do not do anything stupid tonight. I hung up on him. Then I went back to the bedroom. And I looked at Dana sleeping. And I almost woke her up right then. I had my hand on her shoulder. My mouth open. I stopped. I did not know why I stopped. Maybe because part of me was not ready to hear it said out loud. Maybe because some things cannot be unsaid. I walked back to the kitchen, sat down, and I did not sleep that night. If this is hitting close to home, give this video a like right now. You know exactly what I mean. The next morning Dana was up early, making breakfast like nothing had happened. Eggs and toast. Leah at the table. Normal. All of it normal. And for one moment, I believed it. She handed me coffee. She touched my hand when she gave it to me. And she smiled. The real smile. The one I married. For one moment I thought, maybe Ray was right. Maybe it meant nothing. Maybe I had it wrong. I wanted to have it wrong. That is the part one needs you to understand. I want to be wrong more than I have ever wanted anything. 3 days later, Dana got sick in the morning. She said it was something she ate. I said nothing. She got sick again the next day. And the day after that, on the 4th morning, I went to the pharmacy. Alone. Bought a test. Put it in the cabinet under the sink. Behind the cleaning supplies. And I waited. She found it 2 days later. I know because I heard her go still. The bathroom. When Dana goes still in the bathroom, you hear it. No water running. No movement. Just silence. That silence lasted 11 minutes. I counted. From the kitchen. Holding my coffee. Not drinking it. Just holding it. She came out and said she needed to talk to me. Her face was the color of paper. She sat down across from me. And the woman I had loved for 13 years looked at the table. Not at me. At the table. And she said, Mike. Just my name. Nothing else. And I already knew everything. Still with me? Good. Because this is where everything changes. She said my name. Just my name. And then she cried. Not the kind of crying that asked for comfort. The kind that knows it has no right to ask. I did not move. Did not reach for her. Did not say a word. I just sat there, across the table, watching her fall apart, and feeling something in my chest go completely quiet. She told me it happened once. One night in Cabo. Too much to drink. A bonfire on the beach. Derek was there. He had flown in to surprise Priya. That was the story. He flew in to surprise his wife. And ended up in a room with mine. She said it meant nothing. She said she was sorry. She said she did not know how it happened. I listened to all of it, every word, without interrupting once. When she finished, I stood up, pushed my chair in, and I walked to the garage. I sat in my truck for 3 hours and 40 minutes. I know the exact time because I watched the clock. I needed something to focus on, Something that was not my own chest. I want to be honest with you about what happened in that truck. I almost forgave her. I need you to hear that, because it is the truth. 13 years, a daughter, a life, all of it sitting right there on the other side of that door. I thought about Leah waking up on Christmas morning. I thought about who pours her cereal, who takes her to school, who she calls when something goes wrong. And for 40 minutes I sat in that truck, and I almost went back inside. Almost said, we can fix this. Almost believed it. Then my phone buzzed. A text from a number I did not recognize. 4 words. She knows. I'm sorry. Derek. He had somehow got my number. And that text, those 4 words, ended every doubt I had. Because a man who texts a husband does not do it out of guilt. He does it to control the story. He was getting ahead of it. Already managing it. Already thinking about himself. My hand stopped shaking. Just like that. I went back inside. Dana was still at the table. Red eyes. Waiting. I sat down. I looked at her. And I said very quietly, I need to know if it was really once. She looked at me. And she looked away. That was the answer. I did not explode. Did not raise my voice. I stood up again. Got my jacket. And I told her I was going to my brother Ray's. I called a family lawyer from the car. Left a voicemail. It was 11 at night. I did not care. Here is what I did not do. I did not confront Derek. Every part of me wanted to. I had his number right there. I wanted to call him. Wanted to say things I cannot say on this channel. But I stopped because I had learned something from watching men like Derek my whole life. Men like that, they need you angry. Angry men make mistakes. Angry men lose in court. Angry men hand over everything they built. I was not going to be that man. I spent the next 11 days moving quietly. Talked to the lawyer. Got a financial advisor. Found out what was mine. Found out what needed protecting. I did not rush. The paperwork was not ready when I wanted it to be. I had to wait 4 extra days for one document. For days of going home. Sleeping in the guest room. Eating breakfast across from Dana like nothing had been decided. Those were the hardest 4 days of my life. But I waited because I had learned something in a garage at midnight. Patience was not weakness. Patience was the only weapon that actually worked. And Derek, he had no idea what was coming. He was still living his life. Still showing up to dinner parties. Still shaking hands. Still smiling that too loud smile. He thought it was over. He thought he had survived it. He thought wrong. We are almost at the end. Subscribe if you have not yet, because what happens next is something I have never told anyone. You stayed. Good. Because this right here is why patience is a weapon. The lawyer called on a Thursday morning. Everything was ready. I was in the parking lot of a hardware store. When the call came, I did not celebrate, did not feel relief. I just said, okay, let's move. The divorce filing hit Dana on a Friday afternoon. I was not there when she got it. I had taken Leah to my mother's for the weekend. I told Leah we were having a grandma weekend. She packed her own bag, brought her stuffed rabbit, kissed me on the cheek at the door. I held it together until I got back to the car. Then I did not hold it together. I sat in that parking lot for 20 minutes, crying like I had not cried since my father died. I am not ashamed of that. A man who does not break is a man who was never really in it. I was in it, all the way in it, for 13 years. Dana called 4 times that evening. I did not answer, not out of cruelty. I just had nothing left to say. Everything I needed to say was in that filing. Now, Derek, here is what most people do not know. Priya had a prenuptial agreement, a very specific one. Her family had money, real money, and her father was not a sentimental man. That agreement had an infidelity clause. One proven act of infidelity. That was all it took. Derek stood to lose the house, the accounts, the membership, the car, all of it, built on her family's foundation. None of it actually his. I did not call Priya. I want to be clear about that. She found out on her own. Dana told her. I do not know exactly why Dana told her. Maybe guilt. Maybe because carrying it alone became impossible. But Dana told Priya. And Priya, the woman who had been Dana's best friend since they were 18 years old, picked up the phone and called her father. Derek's lawyer contacted my lawyer within a week, asking if I would sign something, a mutual silence agreement, in exchange for a number. I told my lawyer to send back 2 words. No deal. The infidelity clause activated 6 weeks later. Derek lost the house, the accounts, the membership he had bragged about for 9 years. Gone. All of it, built on someone else's foundation. Taken back by someone else's decision. The man who flew to Cabo to surprise his wife ended up surprising himself. I wish I could tell you it felt like winning. I want to be honest with you. It did not feel like winning. Not the way I thought it would. There was a man, a friend of mine for 11 years. His name was Carlos. Good man. He took Dana's side. Said I was being cold. Said I should have tried harder. I lost Carlos. I did not expect that. I had not prepared for that. And it hurt in a way the rest of it did not. Because Dana and I, that was already broken. But Carlos, that was a loss I had not seen coming. Some nights I still think about that. Not about Dana. Not about Derek. About Carlos, sitting across from me in a diner, telling me I gave up too easily. I did not argue with him. I just paid the check. And I have not spoken to him since. Victory with no cost is a fairy tale. Real victory costs you something you were not ready to lose. I have my daughter. I have my mother. I have Ray, who I owe an apology to for hanging up on him. And I have something I did not have before. Clarity. A man who has been lied to for years and finally sees it. That man does not go back to confusion willingly. He learns to value the quiet. He learns that the right people stay. And the rest were never really there. Leah's doing okay. Kids are resilient in ways that embarrass adults. She loves her mother. She loves me. She carries both of us with her. I let her. That is what a father does. As for the baby, I will not speak on that here. That is a child. A child does not choose who its parents are. I have no anger toward that child. Not 1 ounce. I did not destroy Derek. I simply stopped protecting him from himself. If this story moved you, subscribe to Revenge Handler. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And drop a comment below, because your story matters too. I will see you in the next one.